I'm Athena and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I want to talk about what I've learned while drawing one of my hardest, most time-consuming pieces I've ever done. And it is the current siren drawing time-lapse you are seeing now. This took me 17 and a half hours. And this is the longest I've ever drawn before. And not even just like 17 and a half hours. It took me over a month to complete. Okay. I did take a giant break in the middle, but I actually finished it. Like, I didn't quit for like one of the first times ever. Like, this is big for me, especially as someone with ADHD. Like, whew. Anyway, so this is a mermaid I did almost exactly a year ago, and you can already see the giant difference. Like, the background is just so bad. And over the past year, I've done really good at challenging myself to draw more backgrounds, and it's paid off because I drew a background I actually don't hate. What? That's crazy. So, as you can see, the rock was a little bit rough. But what's more rough, other than like the skin, the hair isn't that bad. The tail is so bad. Like, the scales look so bad. So I want to go over just like the differences because my scales now are so much better. I tried using the same brush as you can see, but it just looked awful, and the scales weren't even going the right direction when I got to the bottom part. So I just blended it out and decided to start over. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have seen Finding Nemo, but I was kind of going for that kind of pattern just with the white and then the orange. This is actually a character from a book I like called To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra Christo, and in it, it's like a spin-off The Little Mermaid, but her tail isn't green, it's orange, and it's like freckled. So that's what I was really trying to capture. Starting the scales, I really just was so messy. I was so messy, and I didn't care because I knew I had to draw so many, and if I tried and made it perfect, it would have been worse. So I just went crazy doing like weird shapes. And then I like selected certain parts and I made the colors kind of match. And then I blended out the rims. And that was a technique I used that really helped me, just like color coding it, making it look nice. Because it really blended in more, and when it blends in more to like the base color, it's harder to see mistakes. But the thing that took it to the next level, that kind of erased all of the messiness, was adding highlights, like orange, light orange, and white highlights to the scales. That it brought it to the next level, and I was so shocked that it was such a minor detail. But it's also really time consuming because I went each individual one, adding that little curve line, that little swoosh, which I got faster at as it went on. But if you want to draw scales, I would definitely recommend this method. You could probably find something that works for you, but this is what worked for me, is doing the base outline, not making it too pretty, but not making it too messy, just like adding shapes, fixing them up, blending the outline, and then adding that white highlight. I know some people struggle with eyelashes, so I'm here to help you guys out if you need that help. So basically, my method is getting a thick base of eyelashes, and then using the blend tool and just like tons of tiny lines in and out. My art teacher was like, it's the twist and flick, the bend and snap. So that's how she taught eyelashes, and I think that's a good piece of advice. And it is very, like, I remember it, you know? And for me, I do the base, and it doesn't really matter what brush you use. I'm using Script for the blending at least. I put it down to the smallest it can go on the smudge tool, and I twist and flick. And I just kept flicking, like, both in and out. Because, like, it was really thick at the top, so I kind of use the smudge tool in to kind of push it in so it wasn't as thick, and then I also, flung the lines out so it was nice and full. I think it gives like the falsies effect, the ones that everyone likes. Like, I forgot what the name is, but like, you see what I mean, right? And this is a siren, so she's got those long eyelashes that just bring in everyone's attention. So that's what I was going for full lashes. Obviously, you can do less than what I did, but yeah, hopefully this method works out for you. Just do like an eyeliner line, make it thick, and then use the smudge tool, lowest it can go, and just start flicking. Okay, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is how I did the fish, just because I don't know how I would do a tutorial on a background, just because I really didn't know what I was doing, and I feel like skin rendering and hair deserve their own video. So let me know if you guys would be interested in how I shade skin and how I did the hair. So those will be separate videos if you guys want. I might just make them anyways. And let's get into how I did the fish. So basically, I just picked a color, and then I did the outline of the fish. I didn't really focus on getting it super accurate. They were kind of just blobs, and I added like fins. And then I added like a lighter color on top just to make it pop. And then I added eyes, and that was all I did. So if you're like wanting to have fish in the background and they're not the main focus, that's what I did. And I added little bubbles next to them. Also, adding bubbles like over the tail of the siren and then just around the hair, I think that really made it blend more into the background. And I was super glad I did that. It made her look more like she was in water and not just like, on top of like a water background. Does that make sense? Anyway, yeah. Also, I made the fish too big and fat, so I pinched them down a bit. And that, my friends, is the end of the video. That's how to render scales, eyelashes, and fish. Wow, those are super random. Oh, I didn't even get into like what I learned. So basically what I learned about myself during this process, during the final time lapse, is I learned I could do more than what I thought. I learned that even though drawing multiple eyelashes and scales was super time consuming and slightly tiring, it was worth it. And I'm really glad I didn't just like make another brush or like try and make it easier, because I feel like that would have taken away some of the flair. So if I've learned anything, it's that I will truly never stop learning and growing in art. And I hope to one day be at the level of the reference I used. And I'll show it on screen right here. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. I can't even fathom how they did that. And it's just it's a goal for the future, and hopefully I'll get to it someday. But that's all I have for you guys. And remember that even if your art doesn't look what you want it to look like now, it can still inspire someone else. And it won't just stay stuck at that level. If you continue to practice and grow, it'll get so much better. Like, I'm looking at the reference I use, and then I look at my mermaid, and I'm like, wow, they don't compare. Like, mine is so much worse. Like, I don't even want to show my reference, because I don't want people to be like, oh, I thought hers was good, and then I saw the reference, and I was like, oh, it's not actually that good. But you shouldn't compare your art. Especially, like, I spent 17 and a half hours on this. And looking at it and being like, it's not as good as I wanted. It's just so untrue, because I did the very best I could at my abilities with my tools. And I really hope one day in the future, I'll get to the point where I can afford something like 10,000 by 1400 pixels, you know, like high resolution, maybe like 20k pixels. But I'm not at that level yet. One day when I'm not super broke, if ever, I'll probably live paycheck to paycheck by how much I buy boba. But that is so besides the point. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something, and have a good day. Bye! Oh, and before I forget, subscribe and hit that like button if you want. I don't want to force anyone. Okay, that's all.